We don't see housing prices declining considerably from here. If anything, they're likely to move sideways or continue moving up gradually, perhaps less quickly than has been the case over the last year.
Welcome back to the Midweek Exchange. I'm Natalie Nanowski, and I'm joined by Brett House, Scotiabank's VP and Deputy Chief Economist. He's here to break down those big economic issues for you. Hi, Brett. How are you doing today?
Hey, I'm well, Natalie. How's your summer going?
It is speeding by, and one of the things I do want to talk to you about today is Canada's economic recovery. It does seem to be full steam ahead, especially when you look at our vaccination rates. What is our economic recovery looking like to you? Should we be confident that everything is moving forward quickly and smoothly?
Well, in many ways, the economy as a whole is doing pretty well. It's certainly rebounded far more quickly than almost any economic forecaster anticipated back in March of 2020. If you look at a single month of output or a quarter of GDP, we are more or less at the same level or a little better than we had at the beginning of 2020. If you look at 4 quarters of economic activity, a full year, which is our main benchmark, we're just getting back to our pre-pandemic levels. By another measure, which is really important to most people, the labor market, we're not quite fully recovered. We have about 92% of the jobs that we lost back. And the jobs that are still pending are mainly concentrated in the service sectors that have been slower to reopen. The Bank of Canada looks at all this and says, well, that's great, but you're still not quite on the path that you were pre-pandemic. And that means the bank is going to keep its main policy rate on hold until the middle of next year in our forecasts.
And interest rates are related to the next topic I want to talk about, housing prices. Now, for the first time since March, housing prices have dropped a little bit. Is this a sign of things to come this fall? And is now a time to get a good deal?
Well, this is more or less the leveling off in what has been a very hot market that we anticipated around a year ago when housing really started to get going. And that's why we at Scotiabank didn't advocate for some of the controls or taxes on demand that would penalize first-time home buyers that some others in this space have considered. We do see some concerns around the fact that listings have gone down because people have been perhaps distracted by the summer or they're not clear on where they're going to be able to move to. And there's also the rise of the Delta variant, which has probably made some people reluctant to have potential buyers in their homes. We don't see housing prices declining considerably from here. If anything, they're likely to move sideways or continue moving up gradually, perhaps less quickly than has been the case over the last year as immigration numbers go up again and as people adjust to this fourth wave. We think all of that is going to still reflect what is a structural undersupply of housing stock in Canada compared with our population, and that will keep prices either firm or moving upward gradually in the year ahead.
What should we be looking out for in the coming week when it comes to housing prices and when it comes to economic recovery?
Well, I think we're going to have to watch what's happening with the Delta variant very closely. In Canada, we have seen COVID numbers increase, but unlike the US and the UK, we have not seen hospitalization rates or death rates increase in tandem with this fourth wave. And that reflects the very high vaccination rates that we have in Canada. And that's likely to imply that even if numbers for COVID-19 continue to increase, we are not going to see the same kind of lockdowns, restrictions, or other measures put into place that we saw during previous waves.
Right. I'm sure everyone wants to avoid another lockdown. Thanks so much, Brett.
Absolutely. Good to talk with you.
Good to talk with you too. And we'll have more midweek exchange coming up next Wednesday.